Hey, so I spent the last half an hour trying to pair my phone with my radio. This is a Toyota Hiace van 2012, I think, but this seems to be like a pretty standard factory radio that comes with it. I've noticed it on a lot of the other vans, newer and older as well. There's a little bit of a trick to it, which is kind of annoying, but I couldn't find a video, so I figured I'd make one. I'm using a iPhone 6. It's currently the operating system is a 10, but it doesn't really matter, I don't think, what phone you've got. The process is pretty much the same. So the first thing to do is clearly make sure that your Bluetooth is on, which mine is, and I'll actually go to the Bluetooth settings so you can see what it currently is. That's the one that I had already, so I'll just delete that so we can do the process again. Forget this device. Yep. And so those are previous rental cars, I guess, that I've been trying to connect to or have connected to in the past. Alright, so the first thing is going to the settings or setup, which is here. And there are newer versions of this radio, but like I said, the process is pretty much the same at each point. So then it's pretty straightforward. You just scroll through to Bluetooth. And the most logical choice at this point is BT pairing, Bluetooth pairing. Now this is where a lot of people get tripped up, especially in a rental vehicle. Because if you go to this, you'll see the previous connections that have been made with this. Now, what's interesting is that this stereo will only save 4 different phones or devices into Bluetooth. So once those 4 are actually saved into the radio, at that point, it will no longer let you add a new phone. And it's not clear, it's not made very clear. So that's probably the biggest problem with this stereo. At this point, you actually have to start deleting previous connections before you can actually go anywhere, and it doesn't actually tell you that anywhere. So what would normally seem to be pretty intuitive becomes kind of confusing and annoying. So to do that, go to list phone, which is, so where we were was in BT pairing. I'll show you that again. There. So that's what we'd chosen, and there's the list of the current phones. So I went back, and I'll go back all the way to the start, just so that we can get to that right menu correctly. So to start deleting previous connections or previous phones that are saved, it's a matter of just going to setup, once again scrolling through to Bluetooth, choose Bluetooth, then list phone, which we can see is there. And at that point, I'm going to delete one of these previous phones of people that have driven this vehicle in the past in this rental. So once again, I'm just entering, and then it's simply a matter of delete. Do I want to delete Rowan's phone? See you, Rowan. Deleted. And then skip basically just means done. So I'm going to go back at this point. And once again, I'll actually go back to the very start just so you can see what menus we go to actually now pair your phone. There's now room in the radio to store your device. So I'm going to go to setup. I'm going to scroll through to Bluetooth, which is always seems to go the wrong way. Then I'm going to go to BT pairing. Now recall that last time we did this, it just came up with a list of the phones that were available to pair. At this point now, we'll actually start trying to connect with a new device because it has a space for a new device. So at this point, disconnect all devices. Yeah, actually the iPad that I'm using currently is connected. So yeah, as you can see, it just comes up with searching and a passkey, and at that point I'm going to grab my phone as it looks for new devices. and then we can see car audio. Car audio is the main one. Where it had the number, the pass key, as we can see there, 4 zeros, on an iPhone, on operating system, iOS 10, that's an irrelevant number. You don't require it. There may, I don't know about Android or other phones, you might need to actually enter that number in when pairing. But for the current iPhone, and as we can see there, it just became connected. So at that point, you can skip out of this and go to source, which would be, there's the radio stations, USB, which is not connected, BCA, which is Bluetooth, and that is now my Spotify list playing through the stereo. Hope that was helpful to somebody. Take care.